I know you all wonder why I keep these things in my house. They make you uncomfortable. Me too. That's why I keep them here. Ivory, stone, wood, bronze. Don't gawk, boy. Get that tray filled. Boy! Did you hear me?
Yes, master.
Don't talk back to me. Replenish the tray. I just ordered a darky out of this room. Do you know anything about him? From his facial characteristics, his people probably came from the Songhai tribe, the area around Timbuktu. 300 years ago, they had a university there, where the most delicate operations were performed for cataracts of the eye. People came from all over the world to have their sight restored by these extraordinary black surgeons. I believe origins can crop up even after 10 generations, unless they're kept weeded out. What do we create? Surgeons? Sculptors? Or niggers?
Umbrella. She's up. Whole nother level of shit you can't even understand.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another episode of The Forecast. Now, we as a people have to realize that we are at war. We didn't start this war, but after hundreds of years, at some point we have to start acting like we're at war. We have to start understanding things like white fear and white guilt, especially white fear. There's no way you can do all the things you have done and still be able to sleep peacefully at night. So then you make up negative stereotypes to justify all the things you have done. And if you tell yourself a lie over and over and keep reinforcing it, over time you start to believe your own lies. And not just you, other people around you start to believe your lies. And some even start to believe the lies about themselves. But they've always used the same old lies and deceptions to justify harming us. And far too often, we as a group give it a pass. Especially with white women, we let them play both sides of the fence. Now they can benefit from white supremacy and benefit the most by calling themselves a minority, even though they are the biggest group and the biggest voter bloc. They really are the most dangerous group because they can play both sides and everybody gives them a pass. Like when you talk about rape and rape culture and all this sexual assault, the first thing they do is go to the big, bad, scary black man that goes around trying to rape every white woman he sees. But people don't want to talk about how historically it has been white women that have raped black men, and how white women have historically used the threat of false rape to dominate and control black men. If you don't do what she says or make her mad, far too often the first thing she does is says, "I'm gonna yell rape," if they don't just make up a random story about a random black man in the first place. And most times that's just fantasies they have about black men they wish would happen to them. And it doesn't matter the age. They learn about this power that they have at a young age. And they've used it time and time again throughout history, especially in America. Back in 1863, right after Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, because he needed us to fight in the Civil War on his side. But that pissed a lot of white people off in the North and the South, on both sides. So in Detroit, where newspapers and all the media they had were already blaming black people for all the problems of poor white people, and the local papers even talked about an up-and-coming race war. So during all of this, a man named William Faulkerner was falsely accused of raping a 9-year-old white girl named Mary Brown. Now, even though by law this man William Faulkerner was a mulatto, and he himself identified himself as Spanish and Indian, anything other than black, and he was even allowed to vote on a few occasions, even though by law only white men were allowed to vote at the time. But when it came down to this 9-year-old little white girl, Mary Brown, he was immediately identified as Negro. And as far as the local paper and the local citizens were concerned, he was nothing but a Negro. And with no evidence other than this girl's word, he was convicted and sentenced to life. Then on his way to jail, a white lynch mob that got together during the trial tried to take him so they can beat and lynch him. But a guard fired into the crowd and hit one white person. So then the mob turned around and started attacking black communities, burning down everything, our homes, our businesses, and actually killing people. They set one shop on fire with people still inside. And when one brother named Joshua Boyd ran out of the fire, somebody hit him in the head with an axe, killing him. By the end, over 200 black people were left homeless. Some people died. And of course, nobody was ever charged for anything. And then years later, the white girl Mary Brown came back and recanted her story. It was a lie that she made up. And the brother William Faulkerner was eventually released from jail. And of course, the girl Mary Brown wasn't charged. And here it is 156 years later, and you still have white girls in the same state doing the same thing. In Michigan, a 17-year-old white girl, Faith Gentry, she completely made up a story about a random black man pulling her over and giving her a ticket.
Have you been pulled over before?
Yeah.
Very different experiences?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You see the flashing lights, pull over, then it's license and registration.
Didn't ask me for my registration, didn't ask me for my insurance papers, didn't ask me for any of that.
One of a few clues, the guy who pulled over 17-year-old Faith Gentry was a phony. It happened Thursday evening on the Southgate Wyandotte border.
I was coming southbound down 4th Street, and this cop, like, put his lights on, and I pulled over.
He said he was a Wyandotte cop. Faith says he looked legitimate, especially to a new driver.
He did have like a badge on his shoulder, and he did have like the button up and like the belt, but the only thing on his belt was his gun.
He said her blinker was out and couldn't see her plate, but her car was just serviced with no issues. Then he told her she was getting a ticket and it would be mailed to her.
I was just kind of like in shock. Like, didn't know what to do.
Faith told police that this guy was a tall African-American man. The problem with his plan is Wyandotte police don't have any African-American officers. Police on the lookout now for a black male about 6 foot tall, thin build with scruffy facial hair. Keep an eye out for the fake cop car if you're downriver.
It was a black Ford Fusion, and it had police on the right side of the car in gray, like, faded letters.
I'm scared for them to be out there.
The ordeal has Faith's parents installing a dash cam in her car. Here's some advice from Mom.
If you're not sure if it is, go ahead and call 911 and see if they're sending somebody out to look at you, to stop you, because they can tell you right away.
I'm still gonna pull over if a cop, flicks his lights on, but I'm gonna be a little bit more cautious.
It was a message of a different kind.
She's a good person, and unfortunately, in society today, with the access to social media, things spiral rapidly out of control.
Speaking through an attorney, 17-year-old Faith Gentry appeared Monday, clinging to her parents for support, just 3 days after she appeared on Fox 2 to say she was pulled over by a tall African-American man who was impersonating as a Wyandotte cop.
And this cop, put his lights on, and I pulled over.
Her mother joined her in that interview to help get the message out that there was someone allegedly impersonating a police officer in the Downriver area.
I'm scared for them to be out there.
But after police conducted interviews with the teen, it was soon realized that this fake cop story was just that, fake. And police say it was all fabricated by Gentry. So why would this teen allegedly do such a thing? It's a question that remains unanswered.
Unfortunately, my clients are not able to speak about this matter right now due to the fact that the police department has indicated they've requested a warrant.
In a statement, Southgate police say the police officers out working the streets of Downriver cannot do their jobs efficiently and effectively with this type of behavior. Charges will be filed later this week to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office against the teen for reporting and filing a false police report.
We have to wait to see what the prosecutor decides. I have been unable to see the warrant request, and I have been unable to speak with the lieutenant and head of the investigation today. So we'll have to wait for a day or two to see what happens.
Now, first of all, I don't know how many black people live there, but the police doesn't even have one black person on the force. Not even one token black cop. And even though this white girl, Faith Gentry, was lying, she probably didn't even know there weren't any black cops. But she said a tall black man pulled her over in a Ford Fusion with a badge and a gun just to give her a ticket. Which doesn't make sense, because if you're impersonating a cop, why would you just stop somebody and give them a ticket and leave? And if he actually did give her a ticket, that would be the proof that it actually happened. And it would have a name on it, whether he made the name up or not. But she had the police out there looking for a random black man impersonating a cop that fits this random description that we all seem to fit. And people were even calling in tips on this made up person. And who knows how many black men they actually questioned. But as they started investigating, her story wasn't adding up. And when they started questioning her, then she admitted she lied.
A Southgate teenager is charged with filing a false police report.
She claimed she was pulled over by a fake police officer, but it turns out it was her story that was fake. Fox's Ingrid Kelly explains.
A teen accused of lying about an encounter with a fake cop is arraigned Tuesday afternoon.
That you intentionally make a false report for the commission of a misdemeanor, impersonating a police officer to the Southgate Police Department, knowing that the report was false.
The judge informing 17-year-old Faith Gentry about what she faces for the alleged crime,
which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 92 days in jail and/or $500 in fines. How does your client think that?
She stands mute, Your Honor.
I will indicate she stood mute and her plea is not guilty.
Last Friday, Gentry appeared on Fox 2 to say she was pulled over in Southgate by a tall African-American man who was impersonating as a Wyandotte cop.
And this cop, put his lights on, and I pulled over.
After her message went out, police say tips came in regarding the suspect and suspect vehicle. But after further investigation, police say Gentry fabricated the story. Southgate police releasing the following statement. Police officers out working the streets of Downriver cannot do their jobs efficiently and effectively with this type of behavior. Back in court, Gentry's attorney pleading for a personal bond as he highlighted reasons why he believes his client is not a flight risk.
She's a student at Southgate Anderson High School. She has a 2.8 GPA. She's applied to CMU University. She has a part-time job at a pharmacy. She's currently a Girl Scout of 7 years. She's a member of the JCs and does all sorts of volunteer work. Her father brought her here today. The warrant was issued about 3 hours ago. She immediately turned herself in. There's no risk of flight in this case, right now.
No, Your Honor. And I will give you a personal bond, $25,000 personal.
As Gentry awaits her next court date, the question still remains, what prompted this teen to allegedly fabricate the story and use the media to spread it?
Now, it is good the cops did actually investigate instead of throwing a random black man in jail, because 150 years ago, this was a completely different story. Even 50 years ago, this probably would have been a different story. But thanks to the work our ancestors put in, more and more of these white girls are getting caught, even if they are just getting slaps on the wrist. They only charged this white girl, Faith Gentry, with 1 misdemeanor count for filing a false police report. Meanwhile, with Jussie Smollett, they charged him with 16 felonies for the exact same thing. And Jussie Smollett ended up getting a $100,000 bail, while this white girl, Faith Gentry, bail was set at $25,000. And she'll most likely plead guilty, get probation, and won't spend a day in jail. And this mentality is instilled into them at a young age. In Florida, a 10-year-old white girl, and they refused to release her name, but she made up a story about a random black man trying to kidnap her.
Pasco County deputies tell us a child made up an attempted kidnapping case that put her whole neighborhood on edge. Deputies spent almost a week looking for a man who does not actually exist after a 10-year-old claimed that the man tried to lure her into his car, promising candy and ice cream. Well, the girl says her friends dared her to do it. She's not going to be facing charges because of her age. Deputies, though, tell us tonight that the unnecessary search likely cost tens of thousands of dollars in manpower and resources.
Now, this little white girl said a random black man with cornrows and gold chains with a $sign on it and a tattoo of a naked woman on his arm pulled up on her, telling her he'll give her candy and ice cream if she get in the car with him. And then they spent a week looking for a random black man, and who knows how many black men they questioned, until she finally admitted she lied. And then she said she lied because her friends dared her to. But the police said they aren't going to do anything because of her age. But they sure don't have a problem arresting an 11-year-old black girl and treating her like a grown woman, or charging a 12-year-old black boy with a felony. But this 10-year-old white girl is too young to be punished at all. In America, black men actually make up a minority of sexual assault cases, but at the same time are half of the people that get exonerated for false accusations. Most times it's from misidentifying the black person if it wasn't just a flat-out lie in the first place. Black men are 3.5 times more likely to be found innocent compared to white men, but on average, black men spend 4.5 more years in jail. And most of those are cases of black men being accused by white women. But when black men are convicted of raping white women, they are 8 times more likely to be found innocent compared to white men raping their own women. Then you end up with cases like Jacob Anderson, who was the president of a frat at Baylor University, he got convicted and actually admitted to raping a woman but won't do a day in jail. But then you try to make black men the face of Me Too. But in reality, black men need a Me Too movement to protect ourselves from white women, especially white women like Officer Rachel Sorkow.
Well, Jim, that officer was brought here to the Clark County Detention Center, and this all started as an investigation that started last September. Metro Patrol Officer Rachel Sorkow has been off duty with pay since December. The officer is accused on multiple occasions of using criminal justice information systems to give information to, quote, unauthorized people. Police say Sorkow also recorded citizens on her personal phone, which is a violation of the department's policy. In one of the videos, she's accused of recording someone's private area without them knowing. Sorkow was assigned to the Community Policing Division with the Northwest Area Command. She faces 5 felony counts of misconduct of a public officer, 1 count of capturing the image of the private area of another person, and 1 count of indecent exposure. And that officer is expected to appear in court tomorrow.
Now this white woman, Rachel Sorkow, who was supposed to be a cop, was constantly heard saying nigga, and she ended up getting charged with a list of crimes. Against policy, she recorded a mentally ill black man on her phone, telling him to twerk and do the Superman, and telling him teach her how to Dougie. Then in 2018, she recorded another black man zooming in on his private parts and telling him to kick so she can see it better. And then as she was arresting him, she said, "What's up, my nig?" And then she asked him, "And what are black people, niggers?" Now, over time, these white women are getting charged more and more, even though they are just getting slaps on the wrist. But we have to stop letting them play both sides of the fence. We have to be on code with each other. We are all we got. And the truth is, if we don't have each other, we don't have anybody. These other groups, especially the dominant society, weaponize everything, including themselves. At some point, we're going to have to learn how to protect ourselves and get on code. After all this time, we have to understand we don't have any friends. And at the end of the day, we are all we got.
You were one of those permanently, motherfucker.
Eric.
Go ahead, I will.
Do it.
Sit down. Don't you dare talk to me in front of my kids like that, motherfucker.
Call the cops because you threatened me.
Please, watch this.
It's not even worth it.
Watch it. It's right. These are niggers. That's why, because they're fucking niggers in these tapes.
Oh, don't say that.
Eric. I said it. Eric, put your hands on me. Put your hands on me. Come on.
Eric,
put your hands on me. Put them on me.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. I'm
Eric,
come on.
Eric.
You motherfucker.
Eric.
You motherfucker.
I'm a nigger, right?
Eric,
I'm a nigger.
Motherfucker. That's right. You're a nigger in these tapes. Please. Watch this, motherfucker.
Eric, go sit down.
Eric, go sit down. Fuck you, nigger.
Eric.
Motherfucker. Motherfucker. You motherfucker. I will. Sit down. Don't you dare talk to me in front of my kids like that, motherfucker. Watch it. It's right. Because they're niggers. That's why. Because they're fucking niggers in these tapes.
Don't do it.
Excuse me. Put your hands on me. Put your hands on me. Come on.
Don't do it.
Don't worry.
That's
you motherfucker. I'm a motherfucker. You motherfucker. That's right. You're a nigger in these tapes. Watch this, motherfucker. Fuck you, nigger.
Yo, chill.
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
Yes, my name is Corinne McGovney. I was just in ShopRite of East Haven.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking down the center aisle in front of the cash register, and I turned around to my daughters and I said, "Oh, Jesus Christ." The man in his little scooter said, "Are you talking to me, bitch?" And I said, "No, nigger, I'm not." Because he called me a bitch, I called him a nigger, then he continued to get up and threaten me. So there was spitting going back and forth. He spit on the back of me, and I am pressing charges. Somebody better do something the fuck now. Because I left there with my kids, which was the smart thing to do, but he was with 2 fat black bitches, which I won't call niggers because they weren't behaving like niggers. Somebody better do something now, because I am about to flip this fucking switch. That fucking place is full of cockroaches, and now I have to deal with being called a bitch by a nigger in front of my fucking kids? I don't think so. I want an East Haven cop at my fucking house, and I want an East Haven cop arresting that motherfucker for breach of peace. Now.
Okay, where are you?
Where am I?
Yes.
I am home. He is still in ShopRite. My jacket is in the middle of the ShopRite parking lot because
again, where are you?
Spit on it with his dirty, disgusting, AIDS-infested nigger shit. Home. I'm home. He's at ShopRite. That's the important part.
What is the address?
1172 Quinnipiac Avenue, New Haven.
Okay. We can't send an officer to your address in New Haven?
Of course you can.
So
tell me what can be done to arrest the nigger that assaulted me verbally. Because ShopRite said I was racial profiling, but calling me a bitch wasn't racial profiling. When I'm not a female dog, I'm just a fucking woman.
Okay. So you can either come back...
I want a cop doing something now. Now, I don't want to hear any fucking excuses. I want to.
So anyway, you can come into town,
motherfucker. And you don't want me driving back there because I'm fucking angry.
You can come back into town and meet an officer somewhere in town, or you can come here to the police station to make the report.
Are you kidding
Whichever
me?
is more convenient.
Do you think they know that nigger's name? Do you think they know the nigger's name? Do you think they're going to get the nigger's name? That's all he is to me now is a fucking nigger because he called me a bitch.
Bro, that car was sitting here facing the wrong way, and her homegirl walked in.
Bro, you're in big trouble, bro.
Hey, bro, chill, bro. That's a female.
An assault on the streets of Deep Ellum caught on camera. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Gilma Avalos.
And I'm Doug Dunbar. Good to have you. We're told that the man that you just saw in the video is a bartender, and the attack happened right near his workplace in the parking lot that's right at the corner of Elm and Crowdus. J.D. Miles live there for us right now. J.D., a lot of people have seen the video. A lot of people upset by what they've seen.
They certainly are, Doug, and we just learned in the past hour that arrested bartender has been fired from his job. He also faces multiple charges for a crime witnesses watched in horror.
Dallas police say it started with an exchange of words between a man and a woman whose car was reportedly blocking a parking lot exit behind the High and Tight barbershop and speakeasy, where Austin Sheffield was working as a bartender and can be seen on this video holding a gun. When the woman on the video pulls out her phone to call 911, Sheffield slaps it out of her hand and she hits him. That's when the man delivers as many as 5 punches and uppercuts to the woman, while witnesses recording video gasp in disbelief.
Bro, you're in big trouble.
It's horrific what happened in the video itself.
The owner of the bar and barbershop where Sheffield works says it was shocking to see such bad behavior from an otherwise good employee.
A very good employee, someone that never has an anger or, reached out in any way to hurt or be violent towards anyone.
The assault on video, especially involving someone who works in Deep Ellum, won't help the neighborhood's image, which has been tarnished by disturbances and crimes that businesses like this scooter store say are keeping people away.
Right, I'm concerned for the safety of people coming down here because it's bad for business. I want them to feel safe. Men and women alike need to feel safe and not vulnerable when they come down to Deep Ellum. This is a very happy community, so we don't like this at all.
We don't know how badly the woman on the video was injured or her name yet. Police have charged Suffield with 3 counts, one of aggravated assault, the other interference with a 911 call, and public intoxication.
What, all right, so which one of you called him a faggot?
I did, after he called me a hooker.
So who lives there?
Me.
You live there, and that's your friend?
Yeah, I live next door,
next
not
door.
there.
They live next door.
He called me a hooker. He's been
First?
calling me a hoe. We didn't even say anything. We
You
didn't say
didn't say
no. We were
anything?
walking on the. He was
Okay.
like, hooker.
All right, that's fine.
And
That's
then
fine.
and then we was like,
That's what he said.
like, you know, I'm not gonna sit there and let you call me out of my name,
So
especially
he
you've been
called you
doing it the
first.
past few days. And no, that's not cool. Like,
How
he's
come
sitting
you-
here in his
how come you
yard.
haven't called the police fine?
Why am I gonna call the police for him calling me names? I'll just take my ass in the house. But he pulled out a freaking gun.
He pulled out a gun.
A shotgun. And pointed it at my face.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. I told me he was gonna shoot me,
and I didn't even got nothing to do with it.
What color was the shotgun?
I just saw the black barrel. It was
Black barrel?
long.
Okay,
It's long.
It's a shotgun.
Okay, hear me out. So, he called you a hooker. You call him
Called
a
me.
faggot.
He called me a hooker. He
And-
was like hooker, and we was
Okay,
like,
but what I'm trying to figure out is at which point you actually stay on scene just to go to battle with him.
We did
It
not stay on
happened
scene. We
fast.
were
Give me 1
walking
second.
down the street.
I'm asking her. Give me 1 second. Y'all screaming over here. I'm trying to figure it out.
we're not. It's
Okay,
not.
hear me
We're
out.
not trying to scream. You know, we're
Okay,
like.
it doesn't matter.
I get it. You're
Yeah.
reacting, but
No.
He gets it. Why can't you get
No,
it?
no,
I don't
I
like
get
to
it, but
scream
I don't like the tone of voice.
Like, we're
Okay.
trying to explain.
So now,
Stop talking. He didn't go in the house.
He had that shotgun with him already.
He already, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
All
know.
I know is he bent down, picked it up, and told me he was going to shoot me in the head. That's what he told me.
It happened.
He never
fast.
went in the house.
Never went in the
He
house.
never
He
went in
took
the
his
house.
back.
you saw it right there.
So
He
he- so
picked
he-
it up on the
Bent
floor.
down. He has a bunch of trees. All we know is he turned and came up like this.
Okay, give me a sec.
He got cameras saying he got cameras. It's a camera right there. Y'all need to do something.
Oh yeah, and you need to chill out.
I
Okay.
just asked if I could go down next door and
You need
call
to
my
chill out.
kids.
You need to chill out because
Excuse
now you're gonna
me.
be arrested.
Excuse me.
You're being disorderly right now.
I'm asking.
You
I'm talking to
are
her.
gonna be arrested.
I'm talking to this lady.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one more chance. If you don't calm down, I'm gonna bring you in.
I'm calm. I'm calm. I just want to go talk to my kids. I have a very important phone call.
Okay.
I just asked if I could go next door and charge my phone. My daughter is sick. I don't have time for
You're
this.
screaming again.
I'm freaking out.
Second time. Okay. You are acting disorderly. You will be arrested. Okay.
Got a gun
Get it
pointed at my
right.
face. My
Okay,
daughter's
we're gonna
sick.
help you
I
out.
need
Good.
to-
We're trying
We're
to
gonna help you
investigate.
out.
Listen, we're here to investigate. Just calm down.
You know what? She needs to be corrected, if
Okay.
anything.
Calm
All
down.
right.
Why do I have to be corrected when my life was just threatened and my daughter's sick? I just want to go
Are you
next
gonna
door
continue
and charge
screaming?
my phone. Do not touch me.
It's arrested.
Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do
You're under
not
arrest.
record this. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me.
You know what? She needs to be corrected, if anything.
Calm
All right.
Why? Why do I have to be corrected when my life was just threatened and my daughter's sick? I just want to go to
Are you
the
gonna
store
continue
and charge
screaming?
my
No,
phone.
please stop. She didn't even do nothing.
Touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me.
What
Do
the
not
heck?
record this.
I
Do not touch
am.
me.
What the?
Do not
Why are you
touch
doing that? Why are you doing
Do
that?
not touch
Why are you
me.
doing
Do
that?
not touch me.
She's
I
not
just
doing
said
nothing.
I wanted to call my kids. I just said I wanted to call my kids. My phone is dead. What do you not understand? I got a gun pointed in front of me, and my kids is sick. I'm stressed out.
D.
I
Ramos?
need to go
D.
call
Ramos?
my children.
D. Ramos?
I need to call my kids.
What's his name?
I don't understand.
D. Ramos? 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 Officer, what's your name, please?
Ma'am,
I'm
step aside.
asking you.
We're busy right now. We're busy right now.
What's going on, man? You know, I'm stopping you for? Man, when you turned on here, onto Dixie, 18th Street, you turned in the far left lane, you're supposed to turn in the right lane. See how there's 2 lanes? That's the reason why, man. Are there any weapons in your car? No drugs? Awesome, man. Do you have your ID? No, you ain't got any guns, right? You good, brother? I'm sorry? Oh, you gotta speak up. It's all this. You saying something about work?
We'll go ahead and check it, man.
Okay, hello, man. Awesome. So do you still live on Lewis Morris Drive? What part of town's that in?
Parkville.
Oh, it's Parkville? I got you, man. Awesome. Do you have your insurance, too? That's a crazy ringtone.
Yes. Yeah, pull it over. I'm on
Let's go, man. Come on. Do me a favor, put your hands on the steering wheel.
What you opening up the door for?
Yeah, man, do me a favor, grab your phone and your wallet, stick it on the seat.
Why?
Because I'm telling you, or it's going to fall out when you get out of the vehicle.
Why are you taking me out the vehicle?
I'll move it up here for you.
Mama, they taking me out the vehicle.
Don't hop out?
Get out of the car. They telling me to get out the car now.
And that's the reason why I didn't want anything on you. I don't want to break your phone, brother. You don't have any weapons on you, do you?
I don't.
No drugs?
Nope.
Awesome, man. And turn around, put your hands on the car for me. Switch feet.
I even did anything. Why are you checking me for?
I didn't say you did anything. So you don't have any.
Why did you take me out the car?
Do you have any drugs, weapons on you?
I don't. I told you that when you asked me
check?
the first time. I do mine.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm going to make sure you don't have any weapons, okay?
No.
Yeah. We're allowed to pat you down.
Take a step off the vehicle,
Pat
please.
me down.
Yeah, we're allowed to do that.
You fucking took me out the car.
We're allowed to do that.
No, man.
All right, sir, we can come back to the rear of the car.
I even did anything. Why are you checking me?
I didn't say you did anything. So
So
you don't have any.
why did you take me out the car?
Do you have any drugs, weapons on you?
I don't. I told you that when you asked me the first time. I do mine.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm going to make sure you don't have any weapons, okay?
No.
Yeah. We're allowed to pat you down for weapons.
Mama, they pat me down.
Yeah, we're allowed to do that.
But you fucking took me out the car.
We're allowed to do that.
No, man.
So you say I can't search. So can I search the car?
No.
Quit doing the clenching your fist thing, too.
Dude, that's some bullshit, man.
What's bullcrap?
Fucking only day I got off, I just want to go home.
Okay. Well,
You'll go
unfortunately,
home.
you did a traffic violation right in front of us. Just do me a favor, hang tight. I'm going to talk to my canine partner, okay?
Hey, whatever. You close my door?
No.
Why?
I can't leave you to go close the door.
Okay.
Quit with the attitude. He's not giving you an attitude, and I'm not giving you an attitude.
I understand.
We deal with violent crime all day, every day. We're going to stop 30 more people after you. As soon as we get down here, you'll go home, okay? If you're wasting our time and we're wasting your time, I'm sorry for the small inconvenience. We're allowed to get people out of the car. Your heart is beating through your chest when you're on the phone with your mama and you're narrating to your mom, Mom, I stopped by the police. This is where I'm at. They're getting me out of the car. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
When you do all that, it's the same thing that people do when they're trying to hide something from the police and they're trying to take the situation off of it. And if there was something in that vehicle and we go to trial over it, guess what? The jury your attitude, okay? So bring it down.
The Clark County School Superintendent tells us there's a potential for more arrests. The district police and Homeland Security agents work quickly to find the source of the threats. The social media posts had many nervous parents rushing to the school to pick up their children. Parents ran to get their children out of Arborview High School after these social media posts showed up targeting African American students. One of the posts read, "Looking at my high school, I realized I need to cleanse the hallways. There are too many in the school. We must act now." Another post read, "I just want to go Columbine Part 2. We caught up with the mother running to get her son out of class.
It's all bad, and I have to hurry up and get my son and go away because it will be problems.
Parents and students say these posts started showing up last night. After an intense investigation, Clark County School Police ended up arresting 2 Arborview High School boys ages 15 and 16 for making the threats. Superintendent Dr. Jesus Jara spoke of the arrests.
Threats against individuals, schools, and our children, we don't tolerate. As a father and as a superintendent, I will protect all 321,000 students like they were my own.
The extra police presence at the school did not calm parents' fears.
I'm scared. It's got me shook, and I don't know what to do.
In this day and age, it's something that you got to take very seriously, man, because it's happening everywhere, and you can't, you know what I mean, you can't take it lightly. So I suggest everybody get up here and get their kids.
I'm scared. I'm looking for safety for my child, but I'm going to just have to enroll him out, unenroll him out of the school. I'm sorry.
The school district says it's taking the threat seriously. This parent, who goes by the name Lily, appreciates the school's actions. She just wonders now about the Arborview community.
Very, very disappointing to think that in this time and age that children can have that level of hate in their hearts. Where are they learning it from? Where is this coming from? It really is shocking to me, and I'm disappointed. I want to cry.
The 2 students are facing terroristic threat and cyberbullying charges with an enhancement of a hate crime.
And now we know. Now we know why we want to limit debate.
Yeah, well, Matt, make a comment. Matt, comment.
Quickly.
I'll be as quick as I can, as quick as it takes to kill somebody, I guess. You want me to be that quick. But, you know, as Ms. Fletcher pointed out,
And it doesn't take much to look on the local news every night and see how many black kids, black boys, black men are being killed with these stand-your-ground defenses that these people raise, and they get off. So I take issue with that. I'm the only person here of color, okay? I am a mother, too. And I have a son. And I care as much for my son as y'all care for y'all's. But my son doesn't walk the same path as yours does. So this debate deserves more time. I'm in Pine Bluff. We have killings regularly down there. Mr. Hunter knows, he's our prosecutor. Now, I don't know where the heck, I know where you are from, Gary. And I don't know really where Mr. Ballinger is from. But I can tell you that for a long time since I've been back here in Arkansas, I have feared for my son's life. Now, he's 27, he's out of Arkansas. And I thank God he is. When you're bringing up crap like this, it offends me. And then to limit the debate too, this is crazy. You don't have to worry about your children, Will. I worry about my son. And I worry about other little black boys and girls. And people coming into my neighborhood, into my city, saying they got open carry rights, walking down in front of my doggone office in front of the courthouse. That's a bully. Do I have a right to stand my ground with some crazy ass person walking around with a doggone gun? I don't know what the hell he intends to do. But I know I am scared. I feel threatened. Just like some of y'all walking around here up in the legislature with these damn guns. That, what's his name, Garner came in here, walking around here with a damn gun under his coat. You can see the damn print.
Senator, you need to stop.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. What the hell you gonna do? Shoot me?
Senator.
Senator shit. What the hell? I'm telling you, this deserves more attention. You want to come up here with all these little NRA bills and bills that Alec have and all that stuff. I'm talking about my son's life. And I'm talking about the lives of other black kids. Do what the hell you want to do. Go ahead, but you can't silence me. You got your damn silence gun out the damn chamber today, but you are not going to silence me.